Oh, it feels amazing to be back in the chair in the studio. Everybody, welcome to episode 290 of the Dream Wager. Back in the Garden State, I am your host, D-Rock, and joining me as always is our NBA guru, my partner in crime, Elvis Acosta. E, how you doing, kid?
We doing good, Dylan. Enjoy the day off on this lovely Monday. A little hot, but took care of some business, but we good now, people.
Yeah, I wish I had off. Came in around midnight, then went right back to work at 6 a.m. Man, I didn't miss that. I'll tell you that much. But overall, it was a good little vacation I had in the Midwest. But we got a big episode today. We'll recap what happened over the weekend. Some interesting things happened. Some baseball plays. It's a little short slate today. And we continue our 2 days with the AFC North, one of my favorite divisions this season. And we'll start with the Ravens and the Steelers. But Elvis, did you get around to watching the quarterback documentary?
No, I haven't watched it yet, Dylan. Definitely going to tune in sometime soon. Just don't know yet. Most likely before the start of Hard Knocks, because I can't. Yeah, so
you gotta go through with it because it's must-see television, especially Patrick Mahomes, the season they had, winning the Super Bowl, ups and downs with Marcus Mariota, and then I like Kirk Cousins regardless, but he's the dad. You know, his wife dresses him, he shops at Kohl's. He's just a great guy, I feel like. And then Peyton Manning went on Pat's show today. They announced that the second season has been approved. And guess what 3 quarterbacks are going to follow this season?
Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. Do I got anyone?
So you got one right. You got Josh Allen.
All right. So it got to be 3 younger quarterbacks. So I'm going to go Josh Allen, Kyler Murray. Not Kyler?
No.
Damn. Trevor Lawrence?
No.
Damn. What is it? Damn. Not Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
He's not even going to play next season.
No, they're following him this season.
Oh.
Yeah. And Danny Dimes.
All right. So you 2 birds, 1 stone in New York. And then Josh, you basically got 3 all in New York.
3 all New York teams. Yeah, they don't got to travel too far, Netflix. But yeah, I can't wait. I think the Aaron Rodgers one's going to be good, especially with Hard Knocks being there. Danny Dimes, we'll see. Josh Allen, I think, is going to be really cool as well. But yeah, you got to get around to watching that. I think it's really good. And they just announced that they're having the second season. So it should be really good. I honestly watched it in one day. It was that good. But other than that, we talked about Will Levis. We talked about all those other quarterbacks last pod getting their fully guaranteed money. Anthony Richardson signed his 4 years, $34 million. CJ Stroud signed his 4 years, $36.2 million. 100% of the money will be paid up for CJ Stroud. Anthony Richards, he has a fully guaranteed contract. Are you surprised now we're seeing all these quarterbacks in the first round get fully guaranteed money?
Not really, Dill, just because it's just I want to call it a low total because $30-something million ain't nothing low. But compared to the market, Dill, these guys are getting, $40-50 million a year. Yeah. What's $34-36 million to these people, on a 4-year deal. So I think the way some of these owners are looking at it, we get a quarterback for 4 years for $40 million, while there's over at least 10 teams that's paying a quarterback $40 million just for 1 season. So
yeah, $9 million basically is roughly what they're getting, but that's a penny on the dollar compared to what these quarterbacks are making. What Patrick Mahomes is about to make, what Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow's about to make. So yeah, I think this is the time to win. And yeah, I don't mind the fully guaranteed money, to be honest. I like that they're getting that as well.
Think because all athletes deserve fully guaranteed contracts.
Yeah. And it's surprising because, basketball, they got the money. And I think we're going to start to see that in basketball and other sports as well. So I like that football is paving the way, kind of. Some actually not the best news. Lions new D-back CJ Gardner-Johnson, he was carted off the field today, but thankfully the MRI revealed no structural damage, just a twisted knee. So he's considered day-to-day. He's going to take the rest of training camp kind of light, but kind of a scare for the Lions. I saw the first video of training camp. You had Dan Campbell doing up downs already with the team.
Okay.
I love him. But yeah, other than that, thankfully, no scare there with CJ Gardner. Jimmy G, after his surgery, he did fail his physical, but he passed his second time over the weekend. So he's expected to be at training camp, and Raiders are not placing him on the PUP list. Are you surprised?
Nah, not really, dude. Just because we saw him, you know, be healthy all off season. Honestly, he's just coming off surgery, dude. But we know he didn't finish the season last season. He should be fresh. So why put him on the PUP list? Yes, he just come off surgery, dude. But he hasn't played since what, week 8?
Wait, 8 or 7, yeah.
Yeah, one of those. So Jimmy G haven't seen the field since late November, early December. So I think the only reason they got him not on the pump list still is because they need those snaps. They need him get that rapport with these wide receivers. You understand? Brand new offense. You gotta get accustomed snapping the ball with the offensive with the center, handing it off to Josh Jacobs. Hopefully Josh Jacobs reports, and then getting all these reps with your wide receivers. So Dill, if I'm the coach, I'm not putting Jimmy G on the pump list. I need you to.
He needs to work through it, I think.
Yeah. Like, even if you're not going, full pads, everything, he still has to be there to get the reps on, at least the mental reps.
And I like what Devontae Adams came out and said. He said, we need Josh Jacobs if we want to make a run or even make the playoffs. So love that. Yeah. He's looking out for his boy, which I don't think we've made the case over and over. We're getting repetitive, but he does deserve a contract, Josh Jacobs. And someone that I think deserves a contract as well, Chiefs All-Pro defensive tackle Chris Jones. He didn't report to training camp last week. He and the Chiefs apparently are far apart on terms of a new deal. Apparently, Chris Jones wanted a new deal over the offseason. They were working on it. They're too far apart, apparently. He's going to hold out. I don't know if he holds out till week 1, but you got to get Chris Jones if you want to go back and defend the Super Bowl. So when do you see them getting a deal done?
It's probably sometime, week 3 preseason, maybe late August. Because, it's not out the norm that a superstar player like Chris Jones sits out the whole preseason and most of training camp. It's not. It's not an uncommon thing. So if I'm the Chiefs, if I'm Chris Jones, I'm looking at hey, let's just let him just stay out, let him sit out, so no injuries, and maybe we will get something done right before the season starts. But still, at the end of the day, how many of these superstar players are actually going full out in pads during August and late July? Not too many.
Yeah, and I don't think it's not necessarily the norm for defensive tackles to hold out or miss games, because then you're going to start missing game checks, and I don't think that's
I don't see them missing games, but definitely the whole preseason and basically the whole training camp.
I think we could both agree that if the Chiefs want to be not relevant, but if they want to have a chance to defend the Super Bowl and get back there, they need Chris Jones.
Yeah, definitely. We already know this offense is capable of doing, honestly, the impossible. So do I believe Patrick Mahomes single-handedly could carry this offense and the Chiefs team to the Super Bowl? Yeah, absolutely. But Chris Jones, we saw what he was able to do in the AFC Championship game, and then we saw how he basically dominated him in the front. Him and Frank Clark dominated the Super Bowl against the Eagles. So the defense won't be the same without Chris Jones. They won't force as much pressure up the middle without Chris Jones, and that's how they got a lot of success, is forcing pressure up the middle.
Yeah, he was a stud back then, which I think he deserves a new contract. He
two-time Super Bowl champ. He was the best defensive player on the field. No ifs, ands, or buts. He was the best defensive player on the field during that Super Bowl. There's no question about it, though. The man deserves to be paid when he was the best player on the field.
Yeah, last year he had 44 combined tackles. He assisted on 15. He had 15 and a half sacks. That's tied for the most in his career, dating back to 2018 with the Chiefs. So 15 and a half sacks, I think that's worthy of a contract by itself. So, yeah, no, I agree. Hopefully they do get it done there. But yeah, other than that, running backs, they had a little group message or a Zoom meeting about how they're I think that's all stupid in my opinion. I think it could all be said during a text message. We got to jump on Zoom.
Nah, at the end of the day, I feel like it's necessary just because you gotta talk to your your colleagues and basically, what you want? What you want? Why we can't get deal done? Do you want $20 million? Because I only want $15 million. It might be that one guy that, just asking for too much that's going to reset the running back market completely. So behind the scenes, though, there might be, Josh Jacobs asking for 15, but you got Saquon that wants like 22. You can't just, how would the NFL and some of these running backs feel if Saquon gets 22 and then Josh Jacobs, Austin Eckler, and Tony Pollard only get 14 and 16 each?
Yeah, no, it doesn't work.
They're just going behind the scenes like, yo, bro, you gotta lower your asking price. We all gotta have the same asking price.
Yeah.
If one pays, sooner ones get paid, we all get paid the same number. Maybe, we're going to see it like one contract has, $5 million more guaranteed, or this one just has a little more on the back end. But it all going to be very similar contracts with the damn near the same guaranteed money. So I think that's what's going on in the background. Like, let's all just get a nice deal and not, try to, the next man get $3 million more than the next man. I think everybody should get the same amount.
Yeah, I think you're right. It might be one person asking for the load, and it might be ruining it for everyone else. We really don't know, but I just thought that was funny how they all got on a Zoom. Even the guys like Christian McCaffrey, who's gotten taken care of already. So they're all advocates for
Dylan. If Christian McCaffrey has another good season and is healthy walking off the field, he's due for another contract.
It's just my thing is what I never understood about the running back position, and I guess from a business standpoint, if you produce like Saquon, like Josh Jacobs, like Tony Pollard, Austin Eckler, the next year they're not going to pay you, which is insane because the logic on other position players is they will pay you, but running back, we'll just go and get a guy from the 3rd or 4th round, we'll pay him $5 million a year or $3 million. It just mind boggles me, and I don't like how they could just stick the tag on you. I think the tag is fucked up as well, but that's a whole different debate.
No, I agree with you there, Dill, but it's something definitely boiling and, definitely not going right for the running backs because they deserve to get paid. Every position is, we've seen it. Offensive linemen setting record numbers. Quarterbacks setting all-time record numbers. Wide receivers are getting $25, almost $30 million a season.
And they're divas.
That wasn't going on 5 years ago. 5 years ago, 15 to 20 mil was the max. So the fact that every other position, old lineman, linebacker, quarterback, wide receiver, even the cornerbacks are getting paid now. Every position have went up in value, and the running back has went down. That's the question mark I have. How come all these other positions are setting NFL record contracts, but the running back is just getting devalued? When the last time it's been since Ezekiel Elliott? That's been what, 3 years ago since there's been a new running back to set the market. And frankly, Dill, it's a small chance it might not get set again. Every season we see a quarterback set the new market. Every season we see an offensive tackle set the new market.
Defensive tackle.
Yeah, every season we see a defensive tackle set the market. And then every season we see a new wide receiver up the ante just a little bit. Wait till we see what Joe Burrow and Josh Allen gets next season. Wait till we see what Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase gets next season. It's going to be more than $28 million that Tyreek got. It's going to be more than $250 million guaranteed than Deshaun got. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, and look at a guy who hasn't really played in about a year and a half due to injury, but Michael Thomas, he got the first fully guaranteed contract in the NFL, and I think that's what kind of changed it for the wide receiver room.
And only played 2 games, 3 games.
He got hurt, but what we could all agree when he was healthy, he's the man.
That's the thing, that the NFL owners and GMs don't care about that. They look at it. We paid you, and you haven't played a 5 games since we paid you. No, we understand he's hurt, though. We understand that. But they look at it like, this is why we can't pay these players. They get paid out of nowhere. They don't play games. If it's an injury, suspension, or whatever. But as soon as these players get paid, they start playing less games if it's injury or some other issue.
It's sad because growing up, I remember all the great teams having star running backs, and that's what I loved. You need a good running back in this league, I think, because at the end of the day, you and I have discussed it. You need to win up front in the NFL. You need to win up front through the trenches, and how do you do that with a good running back in the playoffs when it's cold, when you have to go to Arrowhead, when you have to go to Baltimore in these north east cities where it's fucking freezing out. You can't pass the ball. You can, but you're gonna need to run the ball and establish a run game. And if you don't pay your backs, I, I just don't think you have a chance to beat these juggernauts like the Bills. Going up to Buffalo in October is going to be cold, let alone in January. It's going to be even freezing. So I don't know. I'm a little biased. I love the running back position, and I think they should get respected a little more. So I just thought it was funny that they had that little Zoom meeting. But let's get to these picks, Elvis. We'll start on the baseball slate. Kind of a short slate, in my opinion, only about 10 games, but not a whole I like, to be honest. But only 2 plays for me. I'll let you lead it off. What's your first play though?
Still, let's go to Philadelphia. Baltimore Orioles facing the
Mm.
Philadelphia Phillies. Orioles plus 102 on the money line. Over under sitting at 9.5. Dill, give me my dog of the day. Give me the Baltimore Orioles on the money line, Dill. The fact that they're dogs in Philly. I understand the Phillies been playing a little better in the last month or so, but Baltimore been in all season long. I'm gonna just roll with them on the road. Hey, Philly beats me on this one by all means, but give me the Orioles plus money on the road.
Yeah, Dean Kramer is okay. Just Christopher Sanchez has been good. We should not disrespect him. First place Baltimore Orioles. They just took 3 of 4 from the Rays. They're on fire. I mean, I understand the price, but it's hard not to go against the Baltimore Orioles right now. So I get that. For my first play, we're just gonna continue to fade the Kansas City Royals, the worst team. We're getting plus money with Logan Allen and the Cleveland Guardians. I'll take them on the run line minus plus 105. Everyone is on the Royals in this spot. It is a big price. They are laying minus 195, almost $2, but at home, Logan Allen, I think, shuts down the Kansas City Royals. So I'll take them on the run line plus 105. What's your next play?
So we're going where the place you just left. Minnesota. Seattle Mariners taking on the Minnesota Twins. Over under set at 8 even. Mariners minus 105 on the money line. Twins minus 110 on the money line. Basically a pick 'em deal. I'm gonna go with the home scenario. Give me the Minnesota Twins on the money line minus 110. I like this Mariners team, but I'm gonna take the Twins on at home. I think they just take care of business at home deal.
Yeah, should be a good game. I wish that was the series that I went to, but yeah, Minnesota, they've won 3 in a row. They walked it off last night against the White Sox. They were down the whole game. They come back and they win. They 8-2 in their last 10. They're playing good baseball right now. I think they're in first place. I don't mind it. Kenta Maeda just worries me a little bit, especially when you got Luis Castillo on the mound. So it was a stay away. Should be a good game though. For me though, I got to go Texas Rangers. The battle of Texas. I got the Rangers taking on Houston right now on the money line. Rangers are the road favorites, minus 112 with John Gray on the mound. Houston Astros minus 104, over under 8.5. I don't understand this line at all. I took the over 8.5. I mean, just look at the numbers that Texas is putting up: 8 runs, 3 runs, 7 runs, 5 runs, 5 runs. They've gone over this number in 3 straight against the Dodgers. They were just putting up absolutely crazy numbers. Astros at home could hit the ball a lot. Corey Seager's out, which kind of hurts him a little, but at home, 25-22, Houston with the total. So I think the offenses stay hot. John Gray's kind of regressed a little bit, so I think we see a lot of runs in this one. So over 8.5 is my play for that game. Any more for you? I'm done.
One last game, Dill. We're going to go ahead to Arizona, Dill. St. Louis Cardinals taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks. St. Louis Cardinals are plus 136 on the money line. Over under sitting at 9.5, Dill. I ended up taking the Diamondbacks at minus 134 on the money line earlier. As of right now, it's minus 155. I wouldn't advise anybody to lay the minus 155. I took it at minus 134. If you want to, by any means, Adam Wainwright's on the mound, so you know it's going to be hard contact. If anything, I also lean the over in the first 5.5. I think there's a small chance it goes over, and it's at minus 120, so Vegas likes it as well. But give me the Diamondbacks on the money line, minus 134. Still like it at minus 155. I'm just not going to advise to bet it.
Finally, fading your boy Wainwright. Smart. Yeah, I think you kind of convinced me. I just don't like him at home. Minus 130 on the first 5 money line. I like it. I was looking at the odds. Arizona opened up a minus 130 favorite. I wish I saw that.
Got minus 134.
Yeah, so you got it around the opening lines. I like that. I wouldn't lay the minus 150 because Nelson does give up a lot of hits as well. Watch out for Christian Walker. He's a stud. Watch out for his total bases. It's at over 1.5 at minus 110. He's been raking. I could see a blowout here. I think that's why the total's so high. But yeah, I think you gotta fade Wainwright in this spot. ERA at 7.67. His hard hit rate is enormous right now. So little juicy, but I do like the Arizona Diamondbacks as well with you. Before we get over to our NFL two-a-days, let me take a quick break and tell you guys about our provided sponsor today. We're brought to you by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. There's no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, and 0 sugars, and a 4.5 ABV, Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebrations, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just like how we like our lives. Whether it's Huckleberry playing a round of golf with the boys or an elderberry on a Saturday morning workout, it doesn't matter. Our flavors pair perfectly with that artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at the Dream Wager and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, Elvis, let's get to it. NFL two-a-days. We finished 2 divisions. We are now on to the AFC North, one of my favorite divisions. I think every team is competitive here. The odds might not really reflect that, but I truly believe it's honestly up for grabs. We will start with the Baltimore Ravens. Super Bowl 18-1. AFC, they're 10-1. AFC North, they have the second best odds at plus 250. Win totals at 10.5. To make the playoffs, yes, minus 158. No, plus 128. Before we get to player props, any of those entice you, Elvis?
Still, the win total, I end up staying away from it just because I see 10 and I also see 11 and 12. So that's my thing. I like the over. It's just I'm not gonna advise people to bet it just because the division is tough and there's so many games in there where Baltimore should win, but it wouldn't shock me if they end up losing. So when I first counted it, I counted 12 wins, and then when I counted it again, just to be a little realistic, I counted 10. So
there's not a lot of wiggle room for them.
Yeah, it's not a lot of wiggle room. Listen to me, people. Like, if, for example, say Lamar misses 4 games, could they still go over? That's my thing, So that's why I ended up staying away from the total. Just because like I said, if Lamar plays 17 games, I could see this team going 12-5. I'm letting you know right now. I think they win 11, 12 games. But it wouldn't shock me if Lamar misses, a game or 2, maybe 3. So, and I think if they misses 3 or 4, they're going to lose 3 or 2 of those games, guaranteed.
Yeah, I got to go on the first before I hit the total. The AFC North plus 250, I wouldn't take it. I need a little bigger of a number. But if it's a big if everyone could stay healthy, I think maybe you could get a better number in season. If they drop a game or 2 that they shouldn't, maybe you could get +4, +500 in season. So maybe it's a live betting opportunity during their season, but I'm going to keep my eye on them to win the AFC North. Now their win total, I got to take the over. It's at minus 102. They do have the toughest schedule out of Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and Cleveland. But A lot of their tough games are on the road. That doesn't really help me, to be honest. Like, I'm looking at their schedule right now. They're at Cincinnati, obviously, at Cleveland, at Pittsburgh. They're at Los Angeles Chargers. They're at Jacksonville. They're at San Francisco, especially later in the season. Those are some tough games, you know? So, you know, Lamar, he's 100% healthy. He got paid. They added a future Hall of Famer in Odell. This is his best receiving core he's ever had. They got a great offensive line. We already know John Harbaugh's a great coach. He's a top 5 coach in the league. They have a great secondary. Running backs, I like JK. I like Gus Edwards, but I think they could be a little better, in my opinion.
Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, you're right. But I don't know. I don't think that puts them over the edge. I think they have a bottom half of the league in running backs, in my opinion.
But top 5 running game when you add Lamar Jackson.
That's the thing, when you add Lamar. But my thing is, you bring in a new OC, former national champion Georgia Bulldog. What's his name? Todd Monken. Todd Monken. I mean, he's going to – this offense is going to look different. They have the best kicker in the league. Like I said, I worry about some spots on the road late in the season, but if they take care of business like they should early on, like you, I counted 12 initially, and then I went back and I said, they could slip up here, they could slip up there. I see 10 at least, but I see 11, 12 games if everything's healthy.
Like, it wouldn't shock me if they lose to Jacksonville, in Jacksonville. Like, that's a tough game, you know, to win. You know, it wouldn't shock me if they lose at the Chargers. It wouldn't shock me if they lose, for example, twice to somebody in the division out of Cleveland or Cincinnati, even possibly Pittsburgh, you know?
Yeah. Pittsburgh plays them extremely tough.
It wouldn't shock me if they lose 2 games just in the division alone, you know? So, to one opponent in the division, I mean, like, they could get swept, you know? So it wouldn't shock me.
I do like them to make the playoffs, though. Minus 158.
I'm going to hit you hard right now, Dill. Ravens to reach the AFC Championship game. Just to reach it. Plus 400, people. Smash it in now. This is one of my favorite plays of this whole season. They don't have to win it. They just have to reach it. So they're going to win 2 playoff games and reach the AFC Championship game. Hey, if they win the division, they have the best record in football in the AFC, they might get the bye. Me and Dylan just counted 12 wins. Will that be enough to hold down the AFC? We'll see, but we both, you know, regressed a little bit. But, Dill, I'm telling you right now, I'll put it in at plus 400. Ravens to reach the AFC Championship game. Dill, could I just start rattling off my Raven plays?
Yeah, your player props. What do you got?
Lamar Jackson to win the NFL MVP award at plus 1,500. People, hear me out. You're going to get JK. You're going to have Gus there. So you're going to have the healthiest running back group he had in his whole career. You got Odell. You got the Zay Flowers, the rookie. You got Mark Andrews. Guess what, Dill? This is the best wide receiving crew he had his whole career. He won 1 MVP with a far lesser talented group. You damn right, I'm smashing plus 1,500 to win the MVP, Dill. Odell, Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers. Come on now, Dill.
I love it.
I also like the Ravens to make the playoffs at minus 150. Minus 150 is a little chalky, people, but I guarantee you what? That's money being made. So to make the playoffs at minus 150, I'm smashing it right now. Let's go to props, people. Lamar Jackson. I just told you he's winning the MVP now, so you know what's coming next. Lamar Jackson overthrowing touchdowns, 23.5. The fact that it's at 23.5, I feel disrespectful for him. My last name not even Jackson, and I feel disrespected. Give me the over 23.5. Vegas, what's wrong with you at 23.5? Come on now. Lamar Jackson, over 3,400.5 passing yards. I just told you this man is winning the MVP. I just told you he just got Odell Beckham. I just told you he got Mark Andrews. Stop playing with this man now. Odell Beckham. Wait. This man just came off a torn ACL. We saw the damage he was putting in the Super Bowl. I can make the case if he don't get off the field, he wins the MVP. Gosh darn it. You got Odell Beckham over under 580.5?
Disrespectful.
If I'm throwing the ball, he's going for 600. He got Lamar Jackson. That man might go for 800, 900, 1,000 now. He might go for 1,000 now. Give me Odell Beckham over 580.5. What's wrong with you, Las Vegas? Odell Beckham right back to the well. 3.5 touchdowns? Three, three, three. This man almost had 2 in the Super Bowl and a half. Give me over 3.5 touchdowns, minus 126. People, hear me out. Hear me loud. Take out a loan if you have to. Odell Beckham over 3.5 touchdowns, minus 126. Book it in now. And guess what, people? I guarantee it happens by week 10. 10 weeks. He's going to have 4 of them. Dang.
I love the energy. I love it.
One last one. I'm going to go with my man Mark Andrews. Been a top 3 tight end. He never gets the recognition, never in the conversation. You know, all respect to Travis Kelce, George Kittle, my boy Gronk, but my man Mark Andrews don't get talked enough. Give me Mark Andrews over 775.5 receiving yards. His over-under touchdowns is at 8.5. I like it as well, people, but I'm not going to advise to bet it just because, you know, this is the most weapons he ever had. Mark Andrews might not be his number 1 target this upcoming season. For the last 2.5, 3, he's been the number 1. We'll see moving forward, but I do like his over just because he's going to get a lot of one-on-one coverages because they're going to have to move some rotation and Odell.
Elvis, I think I put you on a little when I went on my rant for Lamar when I was advocating for him to get paid, and then he finally got paid. Holy shit, I love it, to be honest. I didn't even have all this confidence in him, but I think if you got to have him for MVP, you got to have him for Offensive Player of the Year as well at plus 22.
No. Offensive Player of the Year is going to go to a receiver or running back.
That's how they always do it, but they shouldn't.
Come on. You got to advise the people towards the right way.
But Lamar at 22-1, I think he's going to have a better year than Tyreek Hill. I think he's going to have a better year than Nick Chubb. Maybe Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson like last year, maybe Christian McCaffrey, they deserve to be up there. But Lamar, I think, has some value. But towards the MVP market, I think he's going to be, but he's better. He's better now than Jalen Hurts. He's better now than Justin Herbert. So for them to be favored above him is disrespectful in my opinion. The only people that I think should be ahead of him who are Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and Patrick Mahomes. That's it.
Yeah, I feel like the only reason those people are ahead, though, not because talent-wise, because we know Lamar, what he represents, is because he already won one. All those guys in front of him, besides Patty Mahomes, they never won one. So, you know, they look at it like, you know, for example, last season, NBA, me and you believe that Joker could have won the MVP 3 times in a row.
Should have.
Exactly. You say should have, right? I'm not disagreeing with you on that.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, I believe, and a lot of people also believe, one of the reasons why he didn't get it is because it would have been a little tiring him winning 3 in a row.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree. I think I said that to you. The same reason why they didn't give it to Braun that one year when D Rose won. I agree.
But we can honestly, me and you can agree that Joel Embiid, he deserved the MVP. I'm not saying Joker didn't deserve it, but I'm saying Joel Embiid earned the award. He didn't just get it handed to him. He did earn it, though. He did earn it.
I want to be careful. I don't know if he deserved it. I'll say he had an amazing season. That's all I'll say.
You know what it was, though? He had a better second half than Jokic.
Yeah.
You know, so,
and I think when they went one-on-one, Joel kind of dominated a little bit.
I showed you that one.
But for me, for my props, I like the over touchdowns 23.5. Like I said, I expect Lamar and the Ravens to throw more with their new OC. I think Odell, Mark Andrews, like you said, they drafted the kid from Boston College, Zay Flowers, a healthy Rashad Bateman coming back. This is his best group ever. They surrounded him with talent. He has to go over this year. I'm going to go over his pass. I'll pass. I'll actually pass. No pun intended on his passing yards. I understand why it's at 3,400 new OC. I think we're going to see a different offense this year out of Baltimore. I could see him going over if he stays healthy, but I'll pass. What I do like, my favorite play, Lamar over 775.5 rushing yards. I encourage everyone to bounce on this now. Smash the over. This number is disrespectful. He rushed for 764 just 11 yards short of this number in just 12 games last season. Even if he just plays one more game last season, he's easily going to go over it. Even though I do expect the Ravens to pass a little more this season, that doesn't mean Lamar won't tuck the ball and run if the play breaks down. So if the play collapses and the guys are double covered, how many guys can you confidently say in the National Football League can tackle him one-on-one, let alone catch the man? You know what I mean? So over 775 and a half, I got to smash the over there. His rushing touchdown, 5.5. I passed on that. Mark Andrews over 775 and a half yards. Hammer the over, like Elvis said. He's gone over this number in 2 straight. Then 1 year he didn't. He only played 14 games. Even with the addition of Odell and Zay Flowers, Andrews is still Lamar's number 1 option and his security blanket. So he loves his tight ends. I think he goes over this. I think he catches for 1,000 yards. Odell, hammer is 580 and a half receiving yards. He's coming off a year layoff, but now he's finally healthy. On principle, I think you have to go over it. He's a 1,000-yard receiver if he doesn't get hurt every year. I don't care who's his quarterback. It could be Zach Wilson. He's catching 1,000 yards if he plays every game.
I'm just going to put this in perspective for the people listening. Odell Beckham just needs to average 35 yards a game to go over this problem.
Yeah. That's disrespectful.
That's
The last 3 years he played, he's been riddled with injuries. Now that he's finally taken the appropriate time off to heal, I think he's in a great situation in Baltimore. New OC, great ownership, great quarterback. I think he's going to thrive here in Baltimore. So I got to go over that. I got to go over his touchdowns as well. It's a little chalky at minus 125, but 3.5? He had 3 or 4 last season. Or 2021 with the connection he had with Stafford. So, he's gone over this number in 6 of 9 seasons in the league. Like I said, even in 2021 with the Rams, he only played 8 games. So he was able to get 5 in that season. So 3.5, disrespectful. I want to get your opinion on one, though. Raekwon Smith, their best defensive player. You like him to lead the league in tackles at 10-1? He plays sideline to sideline, and he's a workhorse. He doesn't get hurt.
Still, would I sprinkle something on it? Yeah, but, I have somebody for that already, and I'm going to just spoil it now. I have Fred Warner. He's just the best linebacker in football.
He's the best linebacker in the league, yeah. I understand that. It's just, it provides a little value. That's all I thought. And I do think he's live.
Yeah, it's worth a sprinkle. We know that defense is going to go all out. He's going to be the main focus on it. So I do expect him to have a great season, but, to lead the NFL in tackles, though, that's going to be – it's always a random that does it, bro. It's always a random middle linebacker, outside linebacker that just got, playing time, and he's just going for, 180 tackles.
And it's crazy because Fred Warner has the 10th best odds as opposed to Raekwon Smith, who has the 3rd best odds. Fred Warner, you could get him 20-1 right now to lead the league in tackles. So I like it. I mean, especially with that defense in San Francisco, both of them, they play sideline to sideline. They're always covering the field. So I just wanted your opinion on that, but I think we're aligned on most of the Ravens plays, to be honest. My one question is, you got Lamar having an amazing season. You got them reaching the AFC, but maybe not winning the division, huh?
Not winning the division deal. I'm going to give that to the Bengals.
Okay, we'll get to that this weekend.
I think Joe Burrow is, besides Patty, he's the second best quarterback in the NFL. And I don't think I think 1 and 2 are very separated from 3, 4, 5, and 6.
And you would say 3rd is Josh Allen?
I wouldn't even put him at 3rd.
Wow. Okay. Let's go to the Steelers. Now, a little different. Super Bowl 45-1 to win the AFC. They're 25-1. AFC North plus 470. They have the worst odds in the division. Their win total sitting around 8.5 to make the playoffs, plus 128. Not to make the playoffs, minus 160. I'll start here, and then I'll let you lead it off or go next. I'm not advising anyone to take them to win the North, but at plus 470, I think is a little disrespectful, to be honest. I'm not saying they're gonna win the division, but I do think they have a better shot than these odds indicate. Plus 470 is a little disrespectful for Mike Tomlin. I just want to say Kenny Pickett, he's going to have that second year growth. I think he's going to turn up. You got George Pickens. You got Deontay Johnson. You got Najee Harris. They have a good team. You got TJ Watt. Hopefully he could stay healthy. I think we're going to see a better year. And that's why I like their over wins, 8.5. I see about 9, maybe 10 if all things go right. They do have the easiest schedule among the 4 teams in the division. They went 9-8 last year, while they went just 2-5 against winning teams. They don't have one game this season against a team coming off a bye. They get the Patriots at home, and they have 2-3 rest day advantages on the back half of the season. They have rest advantage throughout the season. Like I said, I'm high on Kenny Pickett. His numbers don't jump off the tape, but he did go 7-4 as a starter last season. He led the league in 75.6% catchable deep ball rate. I think that helped because he had George Pickens. And he also led the league in catchable under pressure. When he stayed in the pocket as a rookie, you really don't see that. 73.8% catchable rate under pressure. So I think they have to be better on defense this year. They have to get a bunch of turnovers. They didn't really turn over the ball a lot. And I think they have to be better kicking field goals when they're in position to score points, because they missed a lot of field goals last season. I don't think they'll make the playoffs because the AFC is just loaded, but I do think they win 9-10 games. They won 9 games last year. So I like the over for the Steelers. What about you?
Same deal. I'm going with the over with the Steelers deal. Like you alluded to everything you said, I expect Kenny Pickett to be better. If TJ Watt is healthy, there's no telling what this team could become. But I'll say this. With everything you just alluded to, I'm going to smash the over as well, just because I've seen them get into 9, possibly 10 wins. They got to 9 last season. I expect Kenny Pickett to be better. I expect Najee Harris to be a little better. I expect George Pickens to take that superstar wide receiver next step. I expect Minka
Fitzpatrick
to be the best safety in football, and I expect TJ Watt to still be a top 5 defensive player.
So no playoffs, but you do have them being a little better than last season.
Yeah, it all depends. They'll maybe, come season, maybe something live. But as of right now, I just don't see them overcoming two division opponents as the 2 people I got making the playoffs. Is like I said earlier, it wouldn't shock me if this whole division makes the playoffs. Like, there's a small chance they can. But realistically, I think Baltimore and Bengals represent.
And a fact that's known throughout the year, don't underestimate Tomlin as a dog, and he'll never have a losing season. He will have those boys ready to play and prepared every game. So I like that. Let's start with the player props. I like Kenny Pickett over his touchdown, 17.5. He only played 13 games last season, but a full season to prep, get ready under Mike Tomlin. I like their offensive coordinator, Matt Canada. So I think he's going to cut down on the interceptions. He was a little nervous last season, but I do think he'll throw more touchdowns. So I'm going to go over 17.5 touchdowns, minus 125. A little chalky, but I do like it. I'm going to pass on the passing yards, 3,275. That's a big jump. That's like almost a 1,500-yard jump. I can see it going over, but I'd rather just pass, to be honest. So I'm going to pass on there. I like Najee Harris to go over 950.5 rushing yards. He's rushed for 1,000 yards in both of his seasons in the league. He's 1,000-yard back every season, and he's just an absolute workhorse. Knock on wood, but he hasn't missed a game in his entire career. They have a top 10 offensive line. I think 1,000 yards at minimum he's going to rush for. So going to go over that. His rushing touchdowns, 6.5. I stayed away, but I could see him going 7. He scored 7 touchdowns in both of his seasons. I could definitely see him getting over the number, but I do think they're going to pass a little more this season. So it wouldn't surprise me if they went over, but it is a stay away. This is one of my favorite props for the Steelers. I'm going to go Deontay Johnson over 800.5 receiving yards. I know everyone loves George Pickens, and I do too, but Deontay Johnson, let's not get this twisted. He's their wide receiver number 1 in my option. He's the best receiver on the team. He's gone over this number in 2 straight seasons, and he missed it his rookie season by only like 100 yards. So I know all the hypes around George Pickens. He makes these crazy catches, but let's not forget George Pickens misses a lot of catches he's supposed to catch. So I don't know. I think it's going to be leave a lot of one-on-one coverage a lot because everyone's going to be focused on George Pickens. And I think Deontay Johnson one-on-one, I don't think a lot of people could guard him. So I think he's going to take advantage of that. Over 800.5 receiving yards. There's no touchdown props for him, but I got to lean over his receiving yards. George Pickens, 775. He got 800 last season. Lean over, but nothing concrete. George Pickens touchdown 4.5. It's plus money for a reason. I stayed away from that as well. Sack leader TJ Watt plus 750. Man, this guy, like you said, I'll give you the Elvis chuckle. if this man stays healthy, then they're a dangerous team. I mean, plus 750. I don't have the numbers in front of me. Call me ill-prepared, but I think he had around 10 or 11 last season. I remember he had 21.5 the other season. So if he stays healthy, I think he could come within this number. Plus 750 is kind of big in my opinion. So lean over there. But yeah, I like a lot for the Steelers this season.
Still, I'm going to go with George Pickens over 775.5 receiving yards. Still, I think this number is too short. Like you said, he had 800 last season. And he didn't get he's not going to get the, let me rephrase that. He only got half the snaps last season than he will this upcoming season. I'm going to tell you that right now, Dill. He's going to be, I still believe Devontae Johnson is the number 1, but I do expect George Pickens to get a little more balls thrown his way. He's going to be solidified as the number 2 option, Dill. And I think he's going to get a lot of balls this way. I'm not going to test the touchdown over 4.5. I agree with you. 4.5 might be a little too much just because it's Kenny Pickett as a quarterback. Maybe if you had somebody else, a different quarterback, I probably would have liked it. But I don't expect Kenny Pickett to throw over 25 touchdowns anyway, so I'm not gonna hammer any of his receiver catching touchdowns. And then Najee Harris, 950.5. Deal, he hit it right on the head. He's 1,000-yard back. The fact that it's not over 1,000 to me is kind of disrespectful. Mm-hmm. To me, you got to smash it now. Najee Harris is a dog, and I still think the offense is going to run through him. Hopefully Kenny Pickett takes that second step, but I still think the offense runs through Najee. And then I'm also go with the over 17.5 touchdowns thrown. I think 17.5 is too short. You telling me this dude can throw 1 a game and then 1 game 2, so I think he goes at least for 20, maybe 23, 24, somewhere around there, Dill. But the fact is at 17.5, if he plays those 17 games, he only throws for 17. The kid doesn't deserve to be a starter.
And we've seen in the second half of the season he was winning games. He was playing great football.
Bro, he was playing great, especially the last 3-4 weeks of the season. He made me a believer. At first, I just thought he was a dud. And then I forgot which game it was.
The Raiders on Christmas Eve in the snow on the road. Not on the road, at home. It was in Pittsburgh.
At home. And, bro, they came back. Remember, he led him to the game-winning touchdown.
Yeah, the guy kind of had – I don't even know how to describe it. I don't want to say it, but he kind of has that grit and determination. He's a baller, and he's going to lead this team. He's a winner. Thank you. Yeah. So, he played in Pittsburgh. He's from Pennsylvania, coming home to his home team. There's something about him that this team rallies around. So, yeah, I like it. We're kind of aligned in a lot, to be honest, in these two. Didn't expect that, to be honest, except I think you're a little hot. And I thought you couldn't really get higher on Lamar than me. I mean, I'm the biggest Lamar advocate out there, but you're high. I love it. I love the fucking energy, to be honest.
Feeling we're going to see the best version of Lamar Jackson this upcoming season. Like I said, he didn't have this talent in 2018, 2019 when he won the MVP trophy. No. He didn't have this much talent. I'm letting you know right now, people.
I think he's going to have a better offensive coordinator as well. The guy from Georgia won 2 national championships in a row. And yeah, you could say it's college.
No disrespect to Spencer Bennett, but at the end of the day, he did it with Spencer Bennett.
I like Stetson Bennett. I hope he gets a burn in the Rams, to be honest.
Both know Lamar is 50 times better than that kid.
Maybe 100 times better. And I think Stetson Bennett might be actually older than Lamar. He's like 25.
Lamar's only 24.
I knew it. Yo, Stetson Bennett was like a 6-7 year graduate.
26. I remember I saw the thing. He's older than Lamar, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. Older rookies this season.
He's 25 years old, Stetson Bennett. He turns 26 on October 8th. I gotta see how Lamar. How
24.
Lamar.
Well, he might be 25.
No, Lamar's 26 now.
Oh.
It's fine. He's right there though.
Right there. And
he was winning MVPs when he was in college.
When he was a backup.
You didn't have to say that.
In 2018, he wasn't starting. Let's be real.
But he got 2 of them things though.
He got his 3 in 2018.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, so we're gonna continue our 2 days. We got the Brownies and we got the Cincinnati Bengals for this weekend. But yeah, great stuff, Elvis. Any last words before we get up out of here? Anything you gotta tell the people?
No, that's it. Let's just have a good week, man. Positive week, people.
Yes, sir. Let's go. That's going to do it for this Monday edition of The Dream Wager. On behalf of our sponsor, Viva Tequila, Elvis, myself, we'll see you guys on Saturday. So please follow along our social media, Twitter and Instagram at The Dream Wager. You guys can find all of our episodes wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. We go live every Monday and Saturday on YouTube, youtube.com/The Dream Wager. You guys can subscribe, rate, review. It takes literally 5 seconds. It helps the show grow tremendously. So be a friend, tell a friend. Everyone have a great few days. Good luck on your wagers. Be safe, be well. We'll see you guys down the road. Peace.